Y'all ever tried opening blinds with one hand? Oh, it's Athens. Nice. Hello down there. Good morning. This is my script, and this is my studio apartment, which I recently moved into here in Athens. This is the site of my wonderful discovery that I'm going to share with you right now, that Marx thought of before, 5,000 years ago, and nobody has ever had a brain since. So we're all just plagiarizing him and regurgitating him, but one day we'll all read Capital, and there will be no more conversations, essentially. Everything worth saying will have been said. The place is 30 square meters. I'm shoveling through my savings to afford it. I just like to meet my basic need for accommodation, for having a shelter over my head, for not getting stabbed in the street at night. And the place is a little bit crummy. The walls are dirty. I don't think the toilet's been cleaned the entire time, so since the building was born 30 years ago. And just don't look too deep into there. The fantastic thing about it, and the reason why I chose it, is that we have these incredible views. It's right on the ceiling, and for the first time in my life, I have a panoramic view of a big city, which has always been a dream of mine. And it's incredibly beautiful and equally terrifying, because you know what happens every day? I see the sunrise down there over these incredible neoclassical gems that are just so pristine and well maintained, and the sun sets down there. And in fact, as the light fades, you see the Ferris wheel somewhere near the port of Piraeus. Looks pretty trippy, pretty cyberpunk. And then what happens is the moon rises from this direction and sets, of course. And by the way, behind this beautiful sculpture, an avant-garde work of art of a herringbone, we see a shitty little building, unassuming, on a hill. Tons of columns. Apparently it's of some historical significance. I'm not really sure what it's the Parthenon is on the Acropolis. Yeah, that's the one. Where you're so viscerally in touch with the passage of time. You see a day's birth, you witness its death, and it's just this endless cycle. And also in Athens, you're confronted with these shitty little buildings with columns, like I showed you outside, right? You're confronted with these grand testaments to, I think, our fundamental desire as humans to build something substantial with our lives. To work for something monumental and to defy the passage of time, is that you reflect on time's value and also your own mortality. Okay. That's one of the facts of life. It sounds cliche, but it's serious. It's as serious as it gets. It's the biggest tragedy. It's the human condition. It's the source of beauty. Many things in life are sad. Okay. It's a sunny day. You go down to your local ice cream store and you buy an ice cream. You've selected the flavors very carefully. Dark chocolate and salted caramel. Yep, because you have a mature and sophisticated palate, not like the rest of them. Dark chocolate and salted caramel, you're having your stroll, you're enjoying your cone, and boom, it falls. Splat on the pavement. Sad Instagram photo with a witty caption. Babies start crying across all 5,000 continents. In this deafening chorus, and you return to the store, and for the same amount of money, if you're lucky enough to have it, you can buy something that is virtually indistinguishable. In fact, it's better than what you dropped. It's an entire cone, right? You can't do that with a moment. Okay. No two moments are the same. Time is this unique, precious resource that's finite for any one person. And not only is it absolutely finite, but it is completely, incalculably beyond substitution. A moment of my youth is not comparable to a moment of my retirement. One day you wake up excited to play The Sims on your hippo-monitored PC. Then 50 years down the line you wake up excited to play The Sims on your ultra slimline PC, but you can't because it's no longer socially acceptable. So there's aging, right, at the individual level. And then at a more general level, time by itself is a process of change. There are infinite factors that are in flux. every single second that make this fundamentally unsubstitutable, right? That make no two moments equivalent, that create this reality where there's no way you can exchange one for another, even at the level of seconds. That's the definition of time. That's almost what marks it. It is this complex process of change in everything. So, then you find yourself confronted with the fact that, oh shit, I'm unemployed, and the only way for me to rectify this situation, eat something other than rice and lentils, is to exchange my time for money. Exchanging my time for money, having an hourly or monthly or yearly rate, right? Like I've just proven to you, makes no sense. And it makes no sense for two reasons. Okay, it's not that it makes no sense. It makes sense under the logic of profit. But it makes no sense under the logic of individual life, nor does it make true economic sense. Firstly, if any 1 year or any 1 hour of my life can be given a monetary amount, it means that it should be interchangeable with another year or another moment, another day of my life that is worth the same value.
So a day when everybody I love is alive, we're all in the same city. There's this incredible music festival with all of my favorite bands right around the corner, and it's also all of our birthdays, because the birthday problem makes that likely.
Right? We have this perfect day. This perfect day is worth the same monetary value as a day when, I don't know, a meteor is swallowing my city and I'm lying prostrate on my back, just waiting for everything to collapse. You want to pay me the same amount of money to spend that time teaching your toddler how to conjugate verbs. That's my preferred way of making money, but here it doesn't really cut it, right? It doesn't pay the bills. It's insanity. It's insanity. No two moments can exchange for the same financial value, because no two moments can exchange for each other. So that's the first contradiction, right? The second contradiction is that even a single moment has infinite value. One moment alone cannot be exchanged for time in and of itself, right? Why? Not only is it singular, priceless, but although you can supposedly buy my time with money on the labor market, I can't buy that back. Okay, I can't buy. I can exchange my time for money, but I cannot exchange my money for time. Truly, right? There's some senses in which I can do that. I can exchange my money for time-saving devices. I can buy a washing machine, so I don't have to scrub the chocolate out of my pajama pants by hand. I can exchange my money for the time of somebody who society deems less valuable than me, and they can come and clean the flat, and they'll probably do a better job of it than I do because I'm a mess. But anyway, that's not the point. You can buy time-saving devices, or you can pay for the time of others, right? You can outsource the most irritating aspects of your life. But what you can't do, and what this entire system is structured, well, the system, by the way, just so we're clear what we're talking about, starts with a C, it doesn't end in you next Tuesday, comes after feudalism and before the heat death of the universe, and hopefully a brief phase of unleashed human potential before our total societal collapse. Yep, you got it. Capitalism. Right, this whole system is antithetical to you exchanging your money, in a sense, for the kind of time that really matters. What do I mean by that? By retirement? Yeah, okay. Let's look at this, right? People who save up for retirement. That's the one thing that you can succeed at. And now all of this is assuming that you're in a middle to upper class, and I'm using class now in an income sense and not in the Marxist sense, so bear with me. Assuming that you're in the middle or upper class, and you were born 50 years ago, because now this is no longer possible anyway with the rate of inflation and just like all kinds of crazy shit that's happening in the world. You would have been able to perhaps grind your ass off for 30 to 40 odd years, maybe 50, and you would be able to buy retirement time. Has there ever been a point where you can sell your retirement time for youth time? Not really. And like we've said, retirement time is not the same as the time that you have in your youth. Some goals are time-bound and youth-bound. I'm a musician, right? Or I'm trying to be a musician. Or I tell myself to say that I'm a musician, even though deep down inside I think I'm only trying to be a musician. The point is, while my body can tolerate the potentially grueling sleep schedules, and I mean, I can't even fathom what, because I'm not a drugs and alcohol kind of guy. I guess you could say the bad diets, the convenience food, the chocolate cake for breakfast, the potential starvation, etc. involved in touring. While my voice still sounds, I guess, slightly less croaky than it will in 30 years, that's going to be exciting. Yeah, I would like to play music now. I would not like to spend 50 years grinding away at my little accounting firm and then buy an incredibly fancy guitar and play it to an audience of, my poodle, my Persian carpets, and my crushing sense of wasted potential. That is not what I want, right? So buying retirement time, that's not a true conversion of money into time. That's a conversion of money into a very limited and degraded experience. And people always talk about buying experiences and not buying commodities. I don't want to buy a yoga retreat. What I want is the option to, if I'm a mother, spend time with my child. What I want is the ability to spend quality time creating, to spend quality time writing every day. What I want is to be able to keep fit. What I want is to have what I suppose many people would refer to as work-life balance. And what is by and large impossible, even on an 8-hour workday, especially if you're a creative person, especially if you have pursuits outside of work that are also work. And our need for time sort of flexes depending on time, again, right? You can't buy flexible time in this market. You can work for a year, you can save your money, and then you can spend it all, right? But what happens in this system? What is sort of the control gauge for that? It's, can you explain this gap in your CV? And are you allowed to say, hey, hold on a second.
Yeah, the gap in my CV is because I'm not on this planet to work.
No, you aren't, because that makes you completely unappealing to a company whose bottom line depends on you being on a consistent and structured progression to becoming a more and more specialized profit-generating machine. You can't buy balance. That's the one thing. Good luck buying balance, right?
The level of minimum wage is really crucial in terms of this, because something like a service industry job, where perhaps you could have a limited number of hours, or a number of hours that changes depending on your financial needs and things like that. I guess that's like one of the main ways in which you could possibly structure this.
But for God's sake, like, who is living a balanced life on minimum wage right now in the world? It's just not happening. Maybe 50 to 40 years ago, not anymore, right? Wages are devaluing rapidly, stagnating in nominal terms, devaluing in real terms. Inflation is rampant, so forget about it. And this is a natural consequence of the system. So what are we offered instead, right? Why do we accept this? Why do we accept converting our time into money when there's no way we can then convert that money back into our most precious resource? Well, the one thing is survival. The second thing is commodities. A while ago, I was offered a job here that was pretty lucrative. And the week before I started work, it was the Sunday before the Monday, so, a looming sense of dread. I went to the mall and I looked at all of these things, right? All of these things. Flying Tiger, right? That place is wild. Do you want like a toothbrush that's shaped like the Eiffel Tower with like Godzilla and then Jacob Zuma also attached to it? You can probably find it there, right? But you don't want that. No one wants that. Now I want that. The thing is that, I looked at the mall. I was walking through it. I looked at all the spectacles. Infinite coat variations, infinite slippers, infinite infinite cuticle butter, you know, at Lush. This is one of the products they sell, varieties. Cuticle butter with various scents, right? I don't want that shit. Even if I can have all of that, I don't want that. I'm not motivated by that. That's not why I'm alive. We are sold on having instead of doing, because doing takes away from the bottom line and having adds to it. Okay. To acquire something, right? You can acquire shit on the weekend. The number of things you can buy in a finite amount of time, right? Given that you have some amount of money, is almost limitless. Okay. Buying something takes a single click, and that's profitable. Doing something, okay, engaging in leisure time outdoors, traveling, exploring the woods, chatting to friends, learning something, kissing someone, whatever, right? Listening to music flat on your back. Yep, having things, that costs nothing in terms of time, right? And it's profitable. Doing things, that costs everything, and that is a real threat. Okay, so there's certain pleasures you're allowed. You're allowed a pleasure that is instantaneous to acquire and offers you virtually no long-lasting satisfaction. You're not allowed a pleasure that disrupts the complete monopolization of your waking hours. And I'm getting angry. So that's why we're forced into consumption. That's how the cycle works. We're being placated for the loss of something unique and completely irreplaceable by all of these ridiculous mass-produced variations on a theme that ultimately mean nothing. And if that doesn't prove to you that money cannot buy time, and what money can indeed buy is nothing, is useless in comparison to, you know, what really matters and what really makes us satisfied, then maybe you just really like sneakers. Maybe you're a sneakerhead. So that being said, this is where this whole emphasis on time management comes up. It's a conversation you have with employers. It's a conversation you have with teachers. It's drilled into your head from the time that you're a student right through to the time that you're, a working professional. Oh, so-and-so, like, if you could just improve your time management skills, then you could have a happy and fulfilled life. Guess what? That's not the case, right? Because your time is being extracted and is being converted into something that is not of equal value and that you cannot manage in the same way. So that's my conclusion, right? Time is not money, and money is not time. This relationship is not substitutable, and ultimately, although I'm sure there are so many more compelling arguments for this, I just wanted to get it off my chest that wage labor and the labor market in general is the wholesale conversion of human potential into commodities. Karl Marx. And that's why every sensitive person I know, every intelligent person I know, every ethical person I know, and especially creative people, suffer under this system because we see everything that we have to give being chewed up and converted into flying tiger of Sweden products. Right. That's the end of this. Right? Flying tiger, I don't hate you. I think that your shit is gimmicky and cute, and it sometimes fills my heart with joy. But that's a very artificial joy, and more than anything, I want my time back. I hope that you don't want your time back after this video, but I hope that you do want your time back in a more radical sense, and I hope that this sparks you to think about communism. Okay, bye.